Alright, well, greetings and welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 Grit for President Season 1 Episode 1, The Flight We Needed. Now, of course, this episode gets its name because I always wanted to be an Air Force One pilot as a child, especially the VC-137s. And although I'm flying a VC-22, which of course is the military designation for the 727, or is it, the C-22, here's what we have here. Before politics ever touched its fuselage, CM-27000, although a 707 in real life, as well as CM-26000, although a 707 in real life as well, meant something personal, symbol of personality for a young boy, and of course a symbol of possibility for a young boy who dreamed of dignity at 30,000 feet above ground level. Today, the aircraft returns to flight, bearing not politicians but pawprints and promises. This inaugural leg, Grit the dog boards the old Air Force One not to chase history but to change its narratives. From Albuquerque's morning stillness to the canyons of Grand Junction. We carry more than baggage. We carry the echoes of Operation Canvasback, the weight of stereotype, and the urgency of reform. More like emergency. Inside the cabin, ambient voices hum like memory. In the cockpit, rituals unfold like bookmarks. In the story of second chances, from taxi to cruise, but no pushback. Landing to last look, the episode offers more than transport, it delivers transformation. It isn't a campaign, it is a reckoning in motion. A mission for the mistreated and reunions with the dreams that once gazed skyward through childhood windows. For Grit, for myself, for every viewer who needs a lift, this is the flight we needed. So here we go. While we're at it, I used to trace the outlines of this plane in notebooks, the display case at Albuquerque International Sunport, and the cavalcade of wings, and of course anything about Air Force One, but older and grander, as though it seems, before it became an office. It was an altar. Dreaming of flying CM-27000 and 6000 gave me gravity when I needed wings. Grit, soft and observant. What you wrote as a child, we're flying today. The cargo's heavier than votes, its memory, misunderstood instinct, and a longing for repair. So in this flight, of course, there will be no pushback, no rewind. The campaign doesn't mean reverse, it means redeems. Every wheel turned forward is a small forgiveness. There is courage in refusing reverse. This taxiway has seen decades of departure, but today we're arriving into ourselves. So this means the pre-flight check's going to be really fast, so please feel free to pause. And of course, look over anything I missed, for we have an emergency. Although I usually don't publish emergencies, I usually don't. Now, of course, while we're at it, as for whoever made this add-on, I thank you for making this, even though this is a C-22. Or is it a C-22? Even though Air Force One did not operate C-22s in real life, or whatever the military designation is for the 727, I thank you for making it. Now, of course, I got some compensation for a lost dream as a child. Actually, I have some compensation for a broken dream. Although we could not fully be there because you all probably know that airlines, they close on a regular basis. You've seen it. Sometime soon, since I put in the request for the Braniff liveries, you'll get to see me fly those soon. Oh, since we're on the starboard wing, speaking of flying, to and for those who know how to get out. Correction, to and for those who are seated in rows 18F and 20F. Those seated in rows 18A, F, and of course 20A and F, in other words, rows 18 Alpha, 18 Foxtrot, 20 Alpha, and 20 Foxtrot, to those who are seated in those seats. Do you know how to get out of the airplane? Okay, when you take out the hatches, you put them on here, and you follow the arrows. You understand that? Now, I'm not going to be back in the cabin all that much. Now, of course, to open the windows, like on the exit caps, on the exit hatches, you pull up the window shade to close it, and pull the window shade down to open it. Once again, on exit caps, over the wings. On exit caps, over the wings. On exit caps right here, located above the wing, do you know how to pull up the window shade to close it and down the window shade to open it? Once again, pull up the window shade to close the window and pull down the window shade to open it. And pull up the window shade to close the window and pull down the window shade to open it. Now on typical windows, it's the opposite of what I said. Okay, and so now we're here. Okay, the airplane's still cold and dark, so I'm gonna do a quick view. On this side. Okay, let me go under the wing and that'll be the final check, okay? Okay, next off, even if I missed something, let me know in the comments and let me know what I can say or do better, because this video is your test on how to evacuate the plane, things like that. It's okay to fail this one, because at Labrador 54 Gaming Productions, we're educational promoting, and of course if you fail a test today, that's okay. I can work with you in another episode, okay? But today I have to give you a test. It's okay to fail it today, because that's pretty much the only way you'll learn. So what do we do if we have an engine failure? Do we land straight ahead, yield to oncoming traffic? Things like that, and when? And also, do we come back the way we came in? When, of course, the engine has failed, and we're still in Albuquerque. Do we go to Coronado Airport when we're out of Albuquerque? Alright, so right now, let me get the airplane going. Well, even though this is not possible in real life, at least, we have something here. Come on, we got some labs lives to go save. Even if Grit's a gun dog, I'll still accept him for who he is.
Pre-flight check is started. After start check started. Altimeter is set to battery 40 on
Okay, while the chaos in the cockpits. Let me go all the way to the back, for that matter. Okay, I'll have to come back for you. Okay, Grit is in my dream seat, which is Tree Alpha, and let me check the signs from here. Yes, even on VIP transport airplanes. Yes, even on VIP transport airplanes, we have to, of course, check this. Okay, sounds like the engines are fully operational. So let me go open the lavatory in the rear. Just let me go open it. Then we can go. Okay? So let me open it and then we can go. Okay, by now, do you know how to get out? Just for review. Okay, we're gonna go seat 18F, for that matter. 18 Foxtrot. Oh. We'll check them from here. The control surfaces. Thank you. Okay, we'll go outside to check in a minute, okay? Okay, to get out of here, what do you do? How do you close the window? Okay. You know, in this episode, it's okay to fail. At Labrador 5-4 Gaming Productions, you know, we promote education here. Because even if you don't have your dreams, okay, let me tell you this, at Labrador 5-4 Gaming Productions, I want to at least see you with a high school diploma in your hand. Because when you go get a job, you'll have these on hand. And of course, you'll have a diploma on hand, you know, for better considerations, okay? Your high school diploma should be as important as this stuff here. Okay, you should know how the Cooper vane works. All that's left to do here is just test the toilets and creeper. You don't need to look in there. Just so you know, that mirror is purple. Okay. Yeah, you know how to get out of here? It'll be cool. Sorry about that, you know. Just saying, you know. I don't like smart mouthing on board, whoever said anything like that. I'm just pretending that's someone that's smart mouthed. Yeah. Okay, you don't smart mouth anyone because, you know, you can get hurt from that. Alright, listen up. The reason why I took a lot of shortcuts today was to test you. And Air Force One is really technically supposed to be ready for immediate takeoff, and I really should have been in the air by now. However, since this is Labrador 5-4 Gaming Productions and I get to call the shots... Since this is Labrador 5-4 Gaming Productions, I get to call the shots, you know? I got you to a pace to where people could understand, and of course I could start introducing emergencies. The emergency in this episode is that I have to be in Grand Junction, you know, before daybreak. Yeah, I just have to be there before 09 or 100. And if that don't work, if that does not work, then of course I have to be there no later than 1000. And of course that's, you know, in mountain time. Okay, I'm gonna close the cockpit door now. Well, engineer, what have you got? Auxiliary power unit off. Hydraulic pump. Okay, I'm going back in my seat. Autopilot. 30,000 feet. Let's go 30,000 today, okay? $36,000 feet, I think would be too much. Just to land. Just to plan for landing, you know. I, for the time being, am getting comfortable with the 727 from the time being I record this video. Comes out. I'm gonna take this thing to the limit, just like the Eagles say to do. There, now you're talking. Talk to ATC at this point. If I get a gal, that's fine.
Albuquerque, Grand Labrador, 5-4 heavy request taxi for takeoff, departing straight out.
Labrador 5-4 heavy taxi, and hold short of runway 26 by a taxiway Bravo 6 Alpha Alpha 12. Contact tower on 120 decimal tree when ready.
Taxi to and hold short runway
Let's go.
26 via taxiway Bravo 6 Alpha Alpha 12 Labrador 5-4 heavy.
If that was the case, then here we are. At this point, we're going to begin taxiing forward without apology and no pushback. As the aircraft rolls under the sunrise hues, ramp workers pause to salute. Not protocol, but respect. Alright. On the intercom, no pushback, no rewind. This campaign does not reverse, it redeems. Every wheel turn forward is a small forgiveness. There's courage in refusing reverse. This taxiway has seen decades of departures, but today we're arriving into ourselves. And the thrust that we're going to put out is everything that was silenced, finally spoken in jet roar. And the boy who dreamed in blueprints, he just became that pilot of purpose as for today. And so right now, let me turn off the parking brake and off we go. No one's dying here today, okay? Let me turn the flight director on, if you haven't already. Okay, if you haven't already, turn the flight director on. Was here. Okay. Okay, I'll just do the whole. That'll come later. Oh, that's the flight director. Turn yours on. Go ahead, turn yours on. Okay, at this point, all cabin crew prepare for takeoff this time. Thank you. I get that this was an emergency. Okay, we're almost to the end of the runway. All cabin crew, you better be getting ready. And look, I know it's urgent. You gotta stay focused here, okay? I know it's urgent. Actually, let me go ahead and since my mind won't be quiet, I'm gonna go ahead and test the flight surfaces right now. This time I'm sure that all cabin crew, please prepare for takeoff at this time. Thank you. This is going to be a rough one getting out. Please fasten your all seatbelts, harnesses, any each and everything you got. Okay. Whatever you do, when you get to the runway, what do you do if, of course, an engine's out? I'm going to ask you reiteration questions again. In this video, it's okay to bust the test. You know why? Because at Labrador 5 Gaming Productions, we believe that, with experience, we can help you do better. I'm Mike from Labrador 5-4. Gaming Productions, of course, believe that failure is not supposed to be fatal or final, and success is not supposed to be final either. So, in this video, since I'm giving tests, and if you get them wrong, the answers that is, and if I say that you're wrong, I can work with you in another episode, okay? Okay, this is technically a military base, so I'm staying in the cockpit. While I'm at it, Grit the dog, in case you didn't know from Sports Systems, is actually my best friend. And since he ran for president last year, I'm going to begin the process thereof having him run again. Assuming he's alive by next election. Or whenever, really. Whenever sounds clever for him to run. Okay, let's just stand by right here, okay?
Albuquerque Tower.
This time I'm sure.
Labrador heavy ready at runway 26, departing straight out.
Labrador 5-4 heavy wind 262 at 15. Departing straight out approved. Cleared for takeoff runway
Takeoff runway 26 Labrador 54 heavy.
My dream is becoming true right now. Let's do it. Takeoff begins right now. Now we're gonna fly around Albuquerque for a little while, and we're still going visual, as this flight's also a re-election flight, or Grit the Dog for president. So I understand it's urgent. I understand it's an emergency. We gotta stay on the runway. The taxiway, I understand that. V1 range. Stay here till you're within V1 range, okay? Okay, we're halfway down the runway now at this point. Does V1 mean to rotate there? Not always. There we go. There's all classic takeoff. Okay, go to Grit Store. Go to Sports Systems at this point. It's on Montgomery. Okay, let me get in the cockpit so I can take this thing to Sports Systems. Go to Sports Systems at this point where Grit lives and works. Let's go to Sports Systems. Careful. Really careful. I got you. But most certainly not first. In this video, let me do an active pause of our sports systems, if at all possible. Let me pay an homage, to Glenwood Hills. Then we'll go on to Grand Junction, okay? Let me give an homage to everyone who I've daydreamed. Where I've daydreamed.
Labrador 54 heavy, leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Oops. We're gonna go on this.
Albuquerque Tower Labrador 54 heavy frequency change.
There it is.
Albuquerque approach Labrador 54 heavy. Type 3 miles northeast of November Mike 117,100 feet. Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace.
Labrador 54 heavy, Albuquerque. Squawk 610
Squawk 610 tree Labrador 54 heavy.
Labrador 54 heavy radar contact 4 miles south of Charlie 6,000 feet. Cleared through the Charlie airspace. Maintain own navigation.
Okay, let's just press on the Grand Junction. No homage in this episode, okay? We're here, and it won't make sense. Okay, by now, true or false, Coronado Airport is one of your landing spots. Also, Rio Grande River, true or false, also a landing spot.
Labrador 54 heavy,
We're not in the Sandias, are we? Hold on. Let's do this.
After takeoff checks. Ignition set to on. Landing lights on. Landing gear on.
Flaps. Leg it up. The flaps are going to be a while, okay? Before I retract them, they're going to be a while.
Labrador flight, contact Albuquerque, approach your fuselage on 123.3. Good day, good day.
Going to 123 Labrador 54 heavy.
Climb.
Albuquerque approach Labrador heavy 10,400 feet.
Labrador flight, Albuquerque, radar contact continued.
No lights should be on. I knew this from flying the commercial level simulations or just flight DC-10. No lights should be on. We can do better than that. Good ways, of course. Did I do anything wrong? It's okay to say so. I always wanted to be an actor version of a 727 pilot. Maybe 2,000 feet a minute. I'm gonna put this away. Okay, the landing lights, let's turn those off. We're climbing. Okay, we're in cruise phase now, so landing lights, turn them off. Yeah, this is the daytime, so we turn the on. Let's turn them off. Okay, let me bring a notch up.
Flaps up.
Okay.
Hydraulic system is off.
Hold on.
Nav checks complete.
Okay, let me turn that off. Correction, that. Okay, always missing that one. Shouldn't be that big a deal, right? Alright. All these hydraulic pumps. Note to self. Turn this on before takeoff. Is that right? No lights here before takeoff. Is that right? The only light on should be this. But if something goes wrong, you know, you can always say so. You can always say so, okay? Ah, beautiful green mountains below us, even though we're in northern New Mexico. Get some enjoyment in drone view. Okay, I'm gonna say that we're in cruising phase at this point, so... While we're in cruising phase, of course... Light filters through cabin windows like memories revisited. Grit gets a row of photo-labeled crates. Grit. I used to chase silhouettes. Now I carry stories. Cruising isn't coasting, it's choosing compassion over confidence or convenience. Maybe over. Okay, we're, of course, some thousands of feet above prejudice, or whatever you want to say. Whatever you want to say, of course. Below us, wetlands heal. Up here, I'm flying childhood sketches and adult reckoning. That's bright. 200 miles away. That's not much. That's a fair amount. Now I'm using Labrador 5-4 on purpose instead of the Air Force One call sign because, you know, I want to preserve the integrity of the word fiction as this narrative type is. Altitude hold. You know, when I was a kid, I always dreamed of flying Air Force One VC-137 models. Of course, realizing the rigor, although much needed, and of course the fact that VC-137s don't fly anymore, even from the time that I was being born. Actually, when my mother was still pregnant with me, and this includes my brother too, or way long before I even knew anything really, the VC-137s were phased out. Okay. Okay, go on top. Put that. Alright, so anyway, when I was younger, VC-137s were in the phase of being phased out. And of course, when I got older, I realized that they weren't going to fly anymore, and I, of course, was very devastated by that. And as of right now, I got some compensation for my dream right here, and of course, 1,000 to go. Good to know. I'm flying VC-137, rebranded as a 727, and of course, we're flying a C-22. Actually, it should be more like VC-22, given, of course, the military designation. And, of course, USPS drove by as I looked out the window. I recognized the sound and patterns of a mail truck. I recognized the engine sound. I heard it, you probably didn't. I'll get the mail after I'm done flying. It's Saturday anyway, I'm trying to record this video. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as of right now, we are officially at cruising altitude. And of course, Grit will be running his campaign in the cabin. Now, bearing in mind that Grit the dog, of course, being my best friend, he, of course, deserves to be re-elected for president. And what he's really trying to do, of course, is try and fund Warehouse 508 and, of course, the Animal Humane Society, to name a few places. Okay, I'm gonna go in the cabin just for a little while. Seatbelt sign will remain on. Just, whatever you do, go back there with caution. Okay, I'm in the cabin now. You better not be smoking in there, or open the door slowly. Alright, listen up. When we get to Grand Junction, do you know how to get out of here? Everything I did here just now, what do you do first? Do you look out the window first to make sure everything's okay? And see if you're willing to risk? That goes for all doors too. Anywhere where there's a door on this airplane, you do it. Part of the process thereof, trying to get out. Uh-oh, fuel is low. Seats back here. I have no smoking and fasten seatbelt. And of course, right here, you got the Air Force emblem here. News, Detroit thinks small. As the recession slows, next turn for business. People, of course, here. In grit, you better do the same thing too. Especially because, you're an English lab. Say this. Fat animals fight back against bias. For fat people fight back against bias. Well, it's more like biases. Should be, because that should be plural. Issued 29 September 1980 and available for $1.25. Cheap in today's money. Probably a lot back then. There should be an article about Grit running for president here, for that matter. We're 130 miles away from Grand Junction at this point, so I'll make my visits here really brief. Hi y'all, how you doing? What did you think of Grit? Good dog? Got your gear here okay? Stevens Airfield, what's there? Combat landing. So, right back here. Although it cannot really look like a real Air Force One. I'll lock them back here. So. Row 18. Okay, they're probably making phone calls right now, so let's leave it. Just like how Air Force One typically works. So you've already been distributing the snacks, right? And Grit got his treats? Okay. The sun's so bright, I'm not going in there. Okay, I'm gonna go around there. Hey, I've been closed this whole time. That's a good thing. Okay, go ahead and begin the process there of landing at Grand Junction while everyone has chow. Yeah, quickly. Go ahead and begin the process there of landing. Well, everyone has their chow. Okay, well, everyone has. Alright. Give me time for Grand Junction whenever you're ready. Okay. 100 miles. Alright, at this point, I'm going to have to talk about the landing procedure. Alright, listen up. At this point, it does not hurt to talk about the landing procedure at this time. At this point, we're going to begin the landing process while everyone eats. Once everyone's done, and of course, we're within the 40-mile range, I'll begin announcing the descent. Then from there, when we announce the descent, we're not going to use the iPhone. We're going to come in like a combat landing, like Air Force One is supposed to do, okay? Next off, of course, while we're landing, y'all better hold on tight. And this video, of course, I want to admit that even though I have some dark stuff going on in my family right now, I want to begin the process there of having an English lab. A nice house companion, not a gun dog. Okay? I want to have my own Grit. That's, of course, a nice house companion and not a gun dog. And even if Grit is a gun dog, I'll accept him for who he is. And, of course, let's really hope and pray that my Grit, whatever my version of my Grit will not be a gun dog. Just a nice family companion English lab. Okay, Castle Lakes. Okay. We're almost done here. I think we just flown past Telluride and Mountain Village already at this point, and that's quite alright because I'm not here, and we can't always go to Telluride and Mountain Village. I don't always want to go there. Or there's more. Okay. Although we're in the yellow zone right here right now, we actually have an emergency here. And we're telling me we have an emergency. assuming that that's out of the way, Alright, true or false? Montrose is one of our alternate airports. Alright. We're getting close to the Grand Junction now. You know what this means. Okay, as soon as we pass Montrose, we'll talk to him. Okay, as soon as we cross the threshold, get the nose over that and we'll eventually begin the landing procedures, okay? Yes, we're going to go to the main terminal in Montrose. Correction, in Grand Junction. We're going to go to the terminal. Or if anything, we might go to a terminal here in Montrose Regional. If this is, of course, our emergency plan to come here. The likelihood in an emergency is, I might not push on to Grand Junction because, that's towered. Grand Junction is towered while Montrose is not. Okay. Okay, if we were to land here at all, because of emergencies, if we were to land here at all, we'll say so. Remember here at Labrador 5-4 Gaming Productions, I'm actually really technically supposed to be doing this, really. Teaching you how to, of course, manage emergencies. Like if we have an emergency right here, right now, we'd have to go all the way out and, of course, just go and come to Montrose. Because Grand Junction, that's a controlled airport, means it has a control tower, and I don't think we'll have time, to read all of air traffic control's instructions. Now, of course, in this video, we're able to heed to air traffic control's instructions, for I believe that, this flight, is just a flight to destroy stereotypes against labs. There's really no need to be afraid of labs, really, because the lab I want, really, of course, is just a nice family companion. Just like Grit. I just want a nice family companion. Not a gun dog. A gun dog is a hunting dog. And I don't want a gun dog. I want a nice family companion, like I said from before. Now, bearing in mind, from the time being I record this video, Operation Canvasback is still going on, so bearing in mind that we also have Canvasback embryos on board. The Jurassic Park and Jurassic World way of making them. So please handle with care. Your snack's almost done. I'll wait till we're at 36 nautical miles away, okay? Or 34, for that matter. We're gonna have to come in hard. Okay, if they can finish their snacks, here's what's going to happen here. just doesn't really. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is your acting Captain Labrador 5-4 here. We're going to begin the process there of descent into Grand Junction Regional Airport. So at this time, finish all your snacks, drink water to chase whatever you have. This includes juices too, just finish everything you have fast, move with a purpose. Even though some of you do already. Of course, return your seats to the upright position, all that good stuff. Right now, of course, we'll begin the process there of landing in Grand Junction. All cabin crew, please prepare the cabin for landing. Thank you. We're far out. But that's alright. We got a campaign anyway. Someone's telling me to make a circle? No problem. Okay. No problem. I can do that. I'll make a circle. Let me loop around Montrose just once, or just in the general area. See if I can bleed off some altitude. Remember now, landing's the hardest thing you could possibly do, okay? Should be okay. Really fine. We're too high up. That's the problem. Alright, let's do it. Hold on. Y'all better prepare for a combat landing. I should have landed this thing earlier. I apologize. We're not ready for landing yet. Because I couldn't tell what was going on. talk to the tower now at this point.
Labrador 5-4 heavy contact. Labrador 5-4 heavy.
125.75 Labrador 5 heavy. Goodbye. Bye. Denver Center Labrador 5 heavy flight level 255.
Labrador 5-4 heavy takeoff radar contact. Continue.
Hold on, yo.
Grand Junction Tower Albuquerque is 21 miles southeast 215 Vault to land.
Labrador 5-4 heavy Grand Junction tower. Altimeter 29 Make straight in runway 29er.
Make straight the runway 29 Labrador 5-4 heavy.
Okay, Grand Junction. What's up behind us? Flying west number 2. Hold on. This is steep, okay? The reason why I'm flying around today is, to sponsor Grit. Re-elect Grit the dog for president. Same one I spoke of last year. That's exactly the Grit I'm referring to. There it is. It's the power entry. Looks like we're going to runway 11. Wherever that arrow's pointing, we will follow. We shall follow. $20 miles. That's not far. For this matter, we got Grit the dog to re-elect. affirmative. All cabin crew, please prepare for landing at this time. Thank you. Yeah, we'll go to a gate today, for that matter. Through 2-9er. You're climbing a steep angle. Why are you climbing in a steep angle?
Labrador 5-4 heavy, 4 has 1 and 2, 1 and 1-5. Clear to land runway 2.
Runway to land runway 29 Labrador 5-4 heavy.
Too high up. Either way, it's gonna get it. Hold on. Air Force One is meant for this. For the roughest of all missions. Hold on, Grit. This is gonna be a combat landing. Hold on. Hold on, Grit. This will be a tactical approach getting into Grand Junction Airport. Hold on. This is going to be a tactical approach going in. This will be a strategic and tactical approach, mind you. They should be down. Hold on. All crew and passengers, hold on. Hold on.
Labrador 5-4 heavy contact ground on 121.7.
Okay, even though we have a 2-star landing.
Labrador 5-4 heavy.
Right here. Turn on the landing lights. I'll just say that they knew we were coming in. They know it was going to be a combat landing. Like, they're always gonna assign me to gate 29er. I don't know why though. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Grand Junction. Again. I apologize for the rough landing, however, I just thought to remind you that Air Force One was meant for missions like this. Even though our call sign is Labrador 54, I thought to live a dream out today. Maybe your next flight, you know, you could use some fuel. But what are you doing? On the runway. Now this is Flight Simulator. Who moves these things around anyway? No, you're not gonna get great. That's your intention. It's August 1st, and of course, correction, it's August 2nd, and of course, pollen's already starting up. It's unusual. Yeah, that's not usual either. Chow truck, snacks, everything else on board. Reaper van, Air Fan Avia. Okay, let's just taxi it onto the X for this matter. Let's just taxi right on it. Okay. Grit can come through Jetway. Grit the dog deserves all the protection he could possibly receive, you know. He can possibly... Yeah, he can... Everything he could possibly... Connect the Jetway at this point. Connect everything now.
Grand Junction, Grand Labrador, 54 heavy. Connect the Jetway to the aircraft.
Labrador 54 heavy with Jetway is going to be connected.
Watching connected. Hail to the chief. Grip the dog. The animation's off, but, well, I don't care. Let me get all the service items on, and then I'll... Actually, let me put the aircraft on APU. For that matter.
Grand Junction, Ground Labrador 5-4 Heavy. Could you please send a ground power unit?
Labrador 5-4 Heavy, no ground power unit is available.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Grand Junction, Ground Labrador 5-4 Heavy. Could you please send the baggage?
Hey, we have Canvasback embryos.
Labrador 5-4 Heavy baggage is on the way.
Awesome. I see you. I didn't recognize you at first.
Grand Junction, Ground Labrador 5-4 Heavy. Could you please send the catering truck?
Labrador 5-4 Heavy, the catering truck is on the road.
Galley power.
Grand Junction, Ground Labrador 5-4 Heavy. Could you please send a fuel truck?
Let's just go.
Labrador 5-4 Heavy, fuel truck is on the road.
Quantity test complete.
Okay, let's just get out here. Everybody to board. Time for one more thing. Just call it from here at this point. I've been on too long. From the time I record this video. Okay. Let's begin one more thing from here. And we'll close out. Okay, while the child truck is delivering child from the emergency exit there. Here we are. On the ramp with kids watching and march volunteers assembling in silence. The aircraft gleams like a relic of hope, and it sure does. This flight was not just a campaign. Alright, let's begin. Now, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today's flight is not just a campaign flight, like anyone would think. It was a memory restoration project. I needed to fly SAM 27,000 and 26,000 as a kid. Alright. I'll make this up to 50. As a new batch of everything comes aboard, I'll say that, as I put this aside, alright. It turns out we all needed it now. Great, gentle and direct. If you've ever been misunderstood, misnamed, or mislabeled, this flight carried your stories as well. Welcome aboard Healing. You were always clear for takeoff this whole time. Even though the animations are off in this video. The truth of the matter is I'm only getting older and I want to have a real English lab in my family. I'm talking a family companion, not a gun dog. Now, of course, the Canvasback embryos, I imagine, the old ones are gone, the new ones are aboard. So as of right now, at this point, that's our show. If you'd like, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all around.